Now, in a tweet, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal too congratulated Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Donald Trump, as well as to the people of India and the United States on the landmark announcement. In a social media post, the Commerce Minister said, and I quote him here, "This reflects the power of two like-minded, fair trading democracies working together for shared prosperity." Now, he further said that this agreement unlocks unprecedented opportunities for farmers, MSMEs, entrepreneurs and skilled workers to make in India for the world, design in India for the world and innovate in India for the world. It will help India get technology from the United States. Now, further, he said that it is not just a trade deal, it is a historic turning point that will reshape India-US relationship and accelerate our journey towards Viksit Bharat 2047. And indeed, going back to Mr. Pant, sir, when we talk about the latest developments, we talked about the increased employment opportunities, the different sectors which are going to benefit of it. But here, when we talk about India's vision of becoming Atma Nirbhar, of becoming self-reliant and a developed nation by the year 2047, this gives a huge fillip. These sort of developments, especially back-to-back, which are happening, this gives them a fuel. This is like a fuel to the fire that adds more prosperity to the growing aspects of India becoming a developed nation by the year 2047, right?
Yes, you see, this Indo-US trade relations are not only about tariffs, it's also about technology, which is expected to come through, let's say, FDI deals. Now, if you look at the budget, you've seen Mrs. Sitaraman has tried to give a number of incentives for foreign investment to come inside. The main advantage of foreign investment is that it brings in technology. We don't want to keep reinventing the wheel on everything, and that would have been interrupted. If you are suddenly not dealing with a country trade-wise, that makes a big difference. You would have seen an impact coming in terms of the investment. Remember, US is one of India's largest outward investment destinations, particularly in the software sector. And then the ripples would have been felt in the case of Indo-US relationship on the services sector, which has so far been holding good. So, many side effects that are going to come about because the indications of trade deal are what I think are even more important than just the tariff reductions that we are expecting. So that's why I called it I think it's the father of all deals, apart from the mother of all deals. Now, you think of it together, if you bring together the mother of all deals and the father of all deals, then the time comes now for India to be seriously thought as a possible second position global trade partner apart from China. It cannot supplant China immediately, but certainly now a viable partner.
Very rightly pointed out, this looks like the father of all deal. And to get you more on this, straight from Mumbai, where the market updates are being tracked continuously by DD India correspondent Shama. Let's go across to Shama. Good afternoon, Shama. You've been tracking the market sentiment since early morning. Tell us what the traders are saying, because markets is receiving a very positive response.
Well, Deepika, starting in the morning, markets really have a reason to rejoice, and so have the traders, because since yesterday night rather, they knew for the fact that the markets will today trend upward in the green direction, in the green zone, because it has been many days, it is rather weeks, that the markets were trading in red, but today the markets have opened strong, and even now we are seeing the NSE Nifty and the BSE Sensex, they are trading in green. We are also talking about sectors which have been a huge gainer. This includes the infra, the pharma, healthcare, realty. All these sectors have gained hugely, and this is all on the fact that the confidence has returned with this mega deal. And we also have to keep in mind that India is continuously having these kind of pacts, these kind of trade deals with many countries, and that is why the confidence in Indian growth story is becoming even more stronger. We were also seeing that the FIIs were pulling out of the markets. The Indian currency was also going through a tough time. But now, and because of all these reasons, the sentiment really across the country or across the world that had gone, that India, because of that, the FIIs were pulling out. But now we are hoping to see that this growth story has been renewed, and there will be more number of FIIs coming in. There will be more number of investments, the international investments that will be coming out in India, and this will definitely in turn make the Indian growth story even more stronger. So the US-India trade deal, apart from that, we recently saw the UK-India FTA, that deal, which was also called as the mother of all deals, mother of all trade deals. Now, back to back, we are seeing this, and we are hoping that this rally is likely to be a sustained rally, because there are so many sectors that will be gaining because of this particular trade deal. And as we say that we are moving towards Atma Nirbhar Bharat, we are moving towards Viksit Bharat. This is one step in that direction, because of the trade, because of these industries, we are sure that the backbone of the economy will be getting a more stronger strength, and the people who are into the business of imports and exports, they are rejoicing. And as I've mentioned earlier, the growth story, the confidence of India's growth story has become stronger, and this is likely to be a sustained rally. Deepika.
Coming back to you, Mr. Pant, as my colleague said, that this is going to be a continued story, and we are hopeful for the same, because the markets are also hopeful for the same. The last 12 hours really brought a happy news, a good news for the market traders, with a happy opening, positive opening in the market session as well. But how do you look at this positive developments reflecting on gold bonds as well?
I would not look so quickly at gold bonds. See, gold bonds, etc., also respond to what, or the gold market also responds to what is happening on the currency front. See, there are two people operating. One are the traders who are looking for day-to-day changes. There, the rates can fluctuate daily. Like, I would not be someone who would run to invest in the gold market because it's seen a major correction in the last few days. So I would not think of those. That is more important for traders. There will be those who go into the gold market. I would not advise anyone to stay long, because there will be a lot of speculation. So speculative market dominates there, speculative intentions. And that's not something which is altered in the long run from these kind of deals. So I would not worry too much about that. I think the currency changes will take care of that.
And also, when we talk about India becoming the third largest economy, that has been the major focus since 2014 when we talk about it. And we saw the reflections of this decision in the speech of President also before the budget. We saw that in the speech of Prime Minister Narendra Modi also after the budget presentation. How do you look at the developments which are taking place, strengthening India's spot to become the third largest economy soonest?
See, let's put it this way, let's put the third largest in perspective. It is not as India is the third richest country, it's third largest in terms of the total per capita, total GDP, not per capita. So it's not the third largest in terms of purchasing power, but the third prospective, because this is where the market is. Now, you may think of a person as a market only because he has income, but he's also a market because he buys, he's there to buy things, right? Machines don't buy things, only people buy things. So that's the perspective in which you have to think that India will be the third largest, because very soon we'll be the second or the largest population in the world. So that's what really makes us, I think, the third largest over time.
Going forward, there were speculations around India and US ties, because people were talking, and especially the opposition, because the budget parliament session is ongoing. They were having so many versions. But now this latest development, a very positive tweet by President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi reciprocating the same with great warmth. How do you look at that from diplomatic point of view? Strengthening India, continuously strengthening its bilateral ties with countries, especially when we talk about the biggest and the largest and the oldest democracies of the world.
Yeah, very important. I kept saying earlier also, I think the diplomatic part and to me, even more important than the trade part. I mean, try to understand, so many things hinge on Indo-US relationship. Two largest democracies, India as a dominant, at least, not a militarily important power in Asia, also the growing prospect in Asia, also the one sort of bulwark in West and East relationships through India. Then, think about certain other things which would have been affected by this. Look at the state as far as services are concerned. Remember, US is where India's major software exports, FDI, goes into US. Most of India's FDI goes into the software sector in US. It is critical. It's also critical for the millions of Indians who are working and studying in the US. Again, all those things change. Once you start getting faltering on your trade relations, those become important things to think about. I personally believe that, I would say apart from the Mr. Trump, very mercurial character, I would give a lot of hats off to the diplomatic staff of the two countries. They worked very hard. Changing Mr. Trump's mind is a very difficult job. And I can tell you the diplomatic staff over there probably that understands much more, just like Indian Commerce Ministry and diplomatic staff understand the importance of these relationships from a long-term point of view. Forget about the what we do, our leaders, their leaders, they'll be gone today, they are there today, they'll be gone tomorrow. What happens 15 years down the line?
Right.
So I think they work very hard to steady the ship, so to speak.
Very rightly pointed out, sir. That's a very important point that everybody should acknowledge. Taking a last reaction from Shama. Shama, you've been talking to many of the stakeholders there. How are they reacting? What are the sentiments of the people?
Well, people have been really rejoicing this, and as we were talking about this, that this particular deal, this particular talk, it was going on since a very long time, and starting 2025, we did see a lot of uncertainties coming throughout this particular, coming around this area, coming around this topic. And now that we have this tweet from both the heads of the government, Donald Trump, the president, and also our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, it has, kind of given a stamp to this particular fruition, and the people, the industry leaders, they are really happy about it. They are thanking Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also our Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal for this continuous talks of this trade deal. Now, what will happen? India's growth story, as we were talking about, it has already been in the talks, and we always say, even the international agencies, they have recognized that India's growth story is strong. But now we've gotten a notch above this. We've got one more stamp into this, that with this deal, there'll be so many more avenues opening up for India. And as we were talking about that, this particular 18%, this definitely puts up India in a very sweet spot if we are comparing it to the other Asian peers. So the markets have definitely opened. Markets are much more wider for India. Indian markets, Indian products now are getting more preferred area or the market access. And with this particular preference, we understand whatever we are making here in India, this will be going abroad. What the vision of Prime Minister, make in India, make it for the world. This is now coming towards fruition. So the industry leaders ranging from various sectors, be it gems and jewelry, textile, healthcare, pharma, they are really happy about this particular trade deal, but they are also waiting because this is the first step, and there'll be so many more discussions till we reach the point where we are signing this deal. So they are both cautious as well as happy for the moment that Indian products and Indian markets have both gotten a reason to be happy for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Shama, for joining us and getting us the latest straight from Mumbai. Thank you so much, Mr. Pant, for joining us and getting us a much needed rounded perspective on the important development.